All right. Again, I'm Alyssa. I'm the HR specialist here at the Sacramento Kings. I'm always very excited to talk to Los Rios since I am an alumni. Went to Folsom Lake College for 2 years, and I think going to community college was like one of the best decisions I ever made ever. So, always love to talk to all of you, especially about all of our career opportunities, internship opportunities, part-time, anything. I'm happy to share all of that with all of you. But yes, I'm the HR specialist here at the Kings. Been here for 2 years. Started out as an HR coordinator and then promoted into this role just this July, which is super exciting. This is actually my first full-time role out of college. I did a few HR internships throughout college. So I did 2 summers at Blue Shield of California doing HR roles, and then I was a part-time HR coordinator at Cal Poly as well. And then came this job. So. Yeah, super lucky, amazing, amazing company to work for. So very excited to share all of that with you all. Let's see if I can make my slides. So I just want to share a little bit of Sacramento Kings history about the team. I feel like this is something I didn't really know until I started working here. But I think it's really fascinating to learn how we got here because we started in Rochester, New York in 1945. So you probably noticed a lot of 100-year celebrations last year if you came to any games celebrating the 100 years of the franchise. The Kings are the oldest NBA franchise, which I think is super cool and interesting and fun to celebrate. From then, we moved to Cincinnati. We were the Cincinnati Royals. You may recognize that logo. We used a lot of that in our city branding last season as well. Sometimes we have our city edition, which is just celebrating our history and have a lot of the red and blue. Our court is red and blue. We had Royale, if you remember that one for a little bit, which is super fun. And so always nice to kind of recognize our history and celebrate that. Then moved to Kansas City, became the Kansas City Kings because the Royals is a baseball team, so we didn't want to confuse that. So that's when we officially became the Kings. And then officially moved to Sacramento in 1985, which is why you'll also see some 40-year anniversary celebrations. That's our 40 years in Sacramento. And then here we are today. So I don't know if you've ever been to Sleep Train Arena over in Natomas, but officially moved to Golden One Center in 2016. And that was really to kind of revitalize Sacramento and kind of make it a communal fireplace, as our owner has kind of called it, just to really get people in and kind of make it a really fun place to be, right in the heart of downtown. And I think it's done a very great job of doing that. All right. And I also love to share that we're much bigger than basketball. We own a lot of different affiliates. And so we own the arena. Only a third of the NBA teams actually own their arena, which is super interesting to me. So part of my job is to staff all of the arena staff. So ushers, security, box office, all of those event workers that you see there rolls under the Sacramento Kings. We also own the Stockton Kings, which is our G League team that actually won the championship last season, which is super exciting. We also own our team store, so all of our retail is under us as well. It used to be through Fanatics 2 years ago, but now that it's under us, we have a lot more creative freedom. Our team store is right next to our box office and just got renovated, and it's super nice. We do a lot of collaborations with local artists, and so it's really cool to see that under us as well. And then we now own the River Cats and Sutter Health Park. So that was about 2.5 years ago, like right before I joined the company. And now, of course, the A's are here as well. So we work a lot with them. But because we own the ballpark, we staff all of the event staff for all of the games, A's and River Cats as well. And then we also own basically the whole plaza of Doco, right where Golden One Center is. So we have a lot of control over who are in our buildings. We have like a virtual reality opening and a Museum of Illusions opening. So a lot of control to kind of make this a really cool entertainment spot and have a lot of great restaurants and just make it an overall great experience to be at. And then the Kimpton Sawyer Hotel is actually where our business office is based out of, right next to the Golden One Center. And we own that as well. So I want to share our King's University is the our branded name for our internship program. So really excited to share kind of what that looks like and the timelines. So we have 2 different programs. We have a summer program that's kind of your typical 10-week program, June through August, kind of in between the school years. And that is a full-time opportunity. So it's 40 hours a week for that 10 weeks, really jumping in and working on special projects, a lot of prepping for the next season. And we have a ton of offerings for departments. It kind of varies for each time, depending on if manager requests an intern or not. But for the most part, these are a lot of our offerings that we have. So we have a really huge variety if you're interested in the business side. And then oftentimes we'll have a basketball operations intern as well. And then arena operations is another opportunity. And then the other side is the seasonal program. So that one is actually starting in a few weeks, and that goes through the entire season. So it's great for students that are local or recent graduates. And that is part-time, 25 hours a week for the entirety of the season. So it's about 9 months long. And a really great opportunity just to really experience what the season is like. Take your time working with all of the teams and just being a part of the team, working on a lot of special projects, tons of networking opportunities. So I really think that one is a super valuable internship as well. So just want to read through our department offerings. So we always have accounting. We have AV, which is always a year-long internship if you're interested in kind of like the audiovisual broadcasting side. Basketball operations, business analytics, we have communications. Content is our videography and video editing teams, also a year long. Corporate partnerships, so that is working with all of our sponsors. So during games, if you see like the Quick Quack Car Wash halftime shot or something like that, that goes through our partnerships team. So the intern will get to work on those kind of activations. Graphic and visual design, we have social media. Special events kind of works on all of the events outside of the typical concerts and shows, like renting out the spaces or our employee events, things like that. Our community team that now has DEI in it as well, so community/DEI. Marketing, technology is our IT team, as well as ticket sales. So we have a really huge variety, something kind of for everybody. If there's something that's of interest to you, also happy to speak a little bit more about that. And then what you will gain. So there are a lot of really great opportunities within the program. Obviously, you're a part of the team. We like to say that it's not just like the internship where you go to grab coffee for people. You're really in the team doing real work, really meaningful projects, whether it's the summer or the season. And it's just a really, really great opportunity to understand kind of what the corporate world looks like, what sports entertainment looks like, and what it's like to work in the career path that you might be interested in learning more about. We also have some programming throughout as well. So we do speaker panels and we'll do like lunch and learns with our president and our COO. So you kind of get an opportunity to speak with members of the executive team, learn their story, ask any questions, advice, anything like that. We really like to create kind of that open door policy that everybody here is very friendly and willing to talk to you, have a coffee chat, and it really helps with that networking aspect as well. We also provide a lot of professional development workshops. So we'll always do a resume and LinkedIn workshop, which I think is really helpful, especially while you're still in college, wanting to fix your resume, make sure everything looks good for your next career step. We have a lot of volunteer opportunities through our community team. That is really exciting. And a ton of networking. So especially if you're here for the whole season and or the summer, everyone is very, you get to know everybody very quickly, especially the business office. We're all 24/7 in office, not 24/7, but 5 days a week, fully in person. And so you really get the opportunity to get to know people, not just on your team, but within the intern cohort and everybody else in other departments as well. And we recently started doing capstone presentations. So at the end of the internship, interns will present on what they worked on. So other interns and anyone else that's interested in going gets to hear about what the department does, what you worked on, and kind of what you gained and what your next career steps are. So we really try to make it a program that's not just, working on your team, but getting that opportunity to develop professionally and network with everybody else outside of your department as well. So I wanted to read a few. These are our past interns from the season. So I just want to read a few of their comments on what the internship experience was like. Deja is a UC Davis alumni, and she said, I've gained the skills necessary to confidently succeed in future roles through providing hands-on experience and direct mentorship from my team. My internship has exceeded my expectations immensely. I have not only had the opportunity to shadow game day events, but also to network with other professionals. Deja was on our HR team as an HR intern, and she has continued her HR career path as well. Thomas and Princess were both part of our community team. So Thomas said, what I've enjoyed most about this internship is the people I've been able to work with across departments and the connections I've made throughout the season. For me, the dream has always been to work in sports, so having this opportunity to gain some valuable experience to get my foot in the door is something I'm super grateful for. And then Princess said, I developed the professional and personal skills that are needed to succeed in this industry. My manager has had a huge impact on me due to her excellent mentorship, leadership, and trust she instilled in me. I'll never forget all the fun memories and connections I have made throughout the entire season. So we always really try to make it a very meaningful experience. Managers are great about hearing about what you want to gain and what you want to learn and embedding that into your experience to be able to kind of have that real world professional experience and something really great to add to your resume. I want to share these links and I'll share this in the chat as well. Let me see if I can grab my notes. Um, oh, it looks like my screen stopped, but I'm gonna grab this really fast. So I have our careers pages for both the Kings and the River Cats, as well as my LinkedIn that you can connect with me. Let me see if I can grab this. All right, let me see if I can. I don't know if I can send it to everybody, but I'll send it here and see if we can send it out afterwards. All right, back to my screen.
Yes, we can see it, Alyssa. It says to hosts and the panelists, so we can see if we can share it out for you.
Sounds great. And then let me position back for another almost. Okay. And I also want to highlight a lot of our part-time roles that we have. We have a ton of event roles that are constantly hiring throughout the season or in the off season. So if you're interested in kind of an event role, either at the ballpark or here, there's tons of opportunities like usher, box office, our guest services, event security officers, AV, tons of event roles that are mainly in the evenings. So that's something that could be balanced with schoolwork if you just want more of a part-time position or are interested in learning about that. If you go on these careers pages, you can sign up for notifications as well so you know when roles are posted and you can keep an eye on that because oftentimes things come and go at random times. There's not really a set time that our part-time positions are open. For the internships, though, those are usually posted for the season about a month and a half, 2 months before the start. So I would say our season ones were open end of August or not end of August, I guess early August. And then for the summer, it's about end of April, early May. So I would just kind of keep an eye out for that or turn on those notifications so you know when those might be posted because usually they're only out for about 10 days. We usually also post it on our LinkedIn as well. And then for the start dates for those internships, the summer one is usually the first week of June, and the season one is the first week of October. And then I want to leave some time for Q&A if anyone had any questions about anything I spoke on today.
Actually, there was a question, and the question is you had brought up LinkedIn as part of the profile that you have workshops with resume and LinkedIn. So the students are wondering, is it necessary? Is it mandatory that they have a LinkedIn account for the Kings to look at?
That's a good question. I think it's helpful. I don't know how many hiring managers actually really look into it. I would say it's not necessary, but I think in professional careers, we always recommend to have it, just so you can make those connections and you can connect with people within the organization while you're working here or even before. I think one of the things I did when I was getting this job is I messaged the hiring manager and I messaged her 3 reasons I'd be a good fit for the role. So it's another good way to have reach out to people and expand your network. So I do think is a really great thing to have. I'm sure the Career Center can help you with things like that, but it's not necessary for applying to the role.
One of the other students have a question about to apply for the internship, do you need to be enrolled as a student? And if so, how many units?
Yes, that's a good question. We we ask for full-time students, so I think that's 12 units, community college. So yes, as long as you're enrolled as a student or up to a year after you graduate. So the great thing about if you're planning to be a transfer student and transfer to a 4-year, you have a ton of time to apply for all of these internships because it's good for up to a year after you graduate.
That is the only question that we have currently. Oh, oh no, that's question. Sorry.
I don't think we necessarily have specific. I saw the you have to be a full-time student, not part-time. We don't necessarily have specific requirements as long as you're enrolled in college. I don't think it necessarily have to be full-time, but it's definitely recommended. And we're pretty good about being flexible, especially during the season. It's since only 25 hours a week, we're really good with school schedules and wrapping around that as well.
The other question we have is, do you need to have experience in any of the roles you apply to?
It's definitely recommended. I feel like the King's University in general is a pretty competitive internship program where we get like hundreds of applications. So if we're just looking at resumes, I feel like the ones that stand out are the ones that do have experience, whether that's classes or other internships or anything outside of that. Other than that, I do recommend maybe adding a cover letter if you don't have as much experience, just to share why you want to be a part of the organization, what you hope to gain, and kind of skills you have, just to supplement the resume if you don't have as much experience yet.
That's a great piece of advice.
Yeah.
Um,
Monica,
here's,
can I jump in for real quick?
sure.
If I follow-up question, Alyssa, you mentioned that if a student doesn't have maybe business or organization experience, that their classes do count. Can you talk a little bit more about if a student is thinking about applying, how they might highlight or elevate some of the classwork or classes they've taken related to the position they're applying to?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's very helpful to have on your resume. Um, I would just look up different resume templates that I feel like a lot of them have something like that, like relevant coursework, and you can kind of speak about that if you just want the titles of the classes, or if you want special projects are also really great as well. I think that actually stands out more than classes or projects that you've worked on that are relevant. I think that's super helpful just to speak on, if you led a project or what did you gain from this? What research did you do? I think it's helpful to have special projects on there as well.
Great information. Another question we have is, you mentioned marketing being part of the experience you can expect from the internship. So what does the culture of marketing look like at the King's organization?
That is a great question. So our marketing team is basically kind of like our in-house agency for marketing. So any needs that we have for the brand or even for us as employees or like an HR team, I'll ask them for a graphic. Like they designed this PowerPoint presentation, so they kind of like are that in-house marketing agency for the organization, which I think is really unique and exciting. We run pretty lean as an organization. There's probably 8 people in marketing total with the VP. And then we have 2 directors and then a few specialists as well. What's great about the marketing internships is we usually hire 2 to 3 per session. So there's tons of opportunities for marketing. I think for the season we have 3 marketing positions. So some of them will focus on arena concert marketing, whether that's like putting out emails, or handling our kids club kids. So getting people to buy our kids club, which includes a ticket to the game and just a goodie bag for their kids. So tons of marketing, and really creative opportunities there. But yeah, definitely a great internship to be part of.
And so we also want to go back and talk about those deadlines. And is it too late to apply for the fall?
For the fall, our positions are already filled. It's starting in just a few weeks. So I would just look out for the summer, which will be likely end of April, and then next season. Again, what's great is you qualify up to a year after you graduate, so there's going to be a ton of session opportunities since we do this twice a year.
Is there a specific class I should take to apply for an accounting internship with the Kings?
That's a great question. Um, yeah, we just see what American River College or Los Rios has to offer. I think I actually took my accounting classes at Folsom Lake College, and that helped a lot. So accounting is a little bit more specific. So I think accounting specific classes are great, but any general overarching finance classes are helpful as well.
Okay, and I'm going to go back one. It looks like I missed a question here. Hold on. Do you have a junior, senior, or is it okay if you're a freshman? So they're asking, do they have to be in a certain academic year? And is it too late to apply for the 9 months for this year? So that's the same question.
Yeah, no, you can be any year. I think junior and senior, you're more likely to have more experience. So I feel like that tends to be more likely to get an internship, but no, there's no specific qualification, just as long as you're enrolled in classes.
And what is the best way to apply for the positions?
Great question. I'll have them send those links out. So kings.com/careers is the easiest way to look at our careers page. They'll all be posted on there. I also recommend Teamwork Online. That is a careers page that's mainly sports focused. So if you just want to look at any team or look, the River Cats are on there, the A's are on there as well. I think that's a really helpful careers website. That's what all of our jobs kind of link to is that Teamwork Online. So I would just keep an eye on the careers page and then usually we'll post it on our LinkedIn as well, just announcing that they're posted.
Great. Do you have to have a bachelor's degree, or is to be selected, or is an AA sufficient enough? And actually, I think you kind of answered that they can apply even without having a degree as long as they show their coursework, correct?
Yes, and even I mean it's just however you want to design your resume. It's not necessarily required to have put the coursework in there, but yes, as long as you're enrolled, we don't have any degree requirements.
Okay, so that will answer the next question, which also asks, I'm a first year student at ARC. I enrolled in 12 units. Is it very competitive?
I would say it does get pretty competitive. I think it's very helpful to include that cover letter if you want to stand out a little bit more or try to connect with, if you want to have that LinkedIn, connect with people in the organization and figure out who the hiring managers may be. Um, and I feel like that helps you kind of stand out since it is more competitive. Or if you know someone at the company, you'll pop up as a referral. That's always helpful as well. Um, so yeah, I would just focus on like making connections and having a cover letter that can help supplement your resume.
Okay, so those would be some of the tips then that you would specifically recommend if for people who want to be hired. And if you could just go over those tips one more time.
Definitely. Yeah. So I know cover letters aren't always fun. I know I like dreaded it before I had one, but I know the Career Center can help you with that for sure. I I just had a template that I would use for applying, and then I would personalize it. I will say we can definitely notice when ChatGPT is just a straight ChatGPT cover letter, so definitely try to avoid that. It's great when something is a lot more personalized, so we kind of get that personal touch to supplement that resume. So, that could just say like, why are you interested in the company? Why do you feel like you'd be a good fit? What experience do you already have that could help you with this? Even if it is just like school saying you work well in a fast-paced environment because of all these classes you're taking and all these clubs that you're in, just like skills that you learn outside of just job experience is super helpful. Just to kind of have that personal aspect and really show that this is something you're very interested in and very committed to. And I think that definitely shows in your writing. And then, yeah, again, just making connections on LinkedIn. I feel like there's a lot of managers that are happy to even have a coffee chat. I know a lot of people are very busy as the season starts, but it doesn't hurt to message people just in case. You never know who's going to reply and who's going to be willing to share any tips and tricks with you. And if you just look at Sacramento Kings on LinkedIn, it should say like who works there, Sacramento Kings marketing, or whatever you're interested in. Just feel free to make those connections that way as well.
So a specific question is, do you have to be enrolled in Los Rios school to be able to get an internship?
Nope, any school. So even if you transferred to Arizona State, you still qualify as long as you're able to be in person at the time. So no, it doesn't matter what college you're enrolled in. Anyone can apply. So for the season, it's usually people that are local just because it has the in-person aspect, or recent graduates just so they can make that work. But for the summer, it's a lot easier for anybody to apply that's willing to work downtown Sacramento.
And what are the AV and broadcasting internships like?
Yes, that one is a lot more hands-on. It's not any office work. This one is more just arena focused, so they help with all of our events. I don't know how to really describe it, but yeah, it's a hands-on role. So you really are part of the AV team. So it's a lot of directing from our AV VP that will kind of help. Let me see if I can pull up a job description and just give a little bit more of a better example of that. I actually don't know if I can, but I'd be happy to share that. Actually, if anyone wants to connect with me on LinkedIn and just wants to see a job description, I can send it that way. But yes, AV is broadcast. It has to do with, putting up things on the screen or organizing the tapes and videos that we have, um, sound engineering, anything that you might be interested in that kind of broadcast space.
And I think some of the students missed the deadline. We have several questions that are asking about when to apply. So can you go over that one more time?
Yes. So I pretty much the only thing I remember is usually it's about a month and a half to 2 months before the start date. So for summer, we start in June. So I'd expect around April for those to be posted. And then for the fall time, it's around early August, those will be posted.
Okay. So we've got April and August are the when they're open to apply, and I believe that Lisa had said they're open for about 10 days, right? And that you'd also said besides the links that are on the chat that they're also on LinkedIn, I think I heard you say.
Yes, I'd say the careers page is the best place to do it, especially because you can sign up for the alerts so you know exactly when things are posted.
Wonderful. Did you already go over what the accounting internships were like? I think earlier you may have already stated something.
I can talk a little bit about like what the team format is like. So, our accounting team is maybe 3 to 4 people over the general finance team, and so it's a lot of balancing spreadsheets. And I don't know too much specifically about some of the internships, but I know that it's very much just like special projects, which could also be for baseball as well. I know our finance team supports both Golden One Center and Southern Health Park, so just a good opportunity to really get experience and really dive into the projects that accounting needs for the season or the off season. But I know a lot of it has to do with the balance sheets. um, so yeah, any accounting classes, like I said, are super helpful and just kind of having the familiarity of what that would look like.
So let's go back and look at the schedule again. So I think I heard you say, are there 53 games so that the interns would not be playing at the games that are not in town in Sacramento, correct? And I think it's something like 53 games that are in town. Am I correct? Close?
So there are very few roles that will actually have any game day responsibilities. Most of the time, it will be just in office, kind of like the 9 to 5. So the only ones that are off the top of my head that would be more game day is the content, which is the videography. So those are the ones that are basically on the court shooting the videos, plus the office and editing. Partnerships does a lot of game as well, just to support all of the on-court activations. But for the most part, it's mainly in office, kind of like the 9 to 5 job.
So is it weekends? So are we looking at like the normal Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 kind of job?
For the most part, the only weekends would be if there were any game day responsibilities.
Okay. So hopefully everybody out there caught that. Very detailed about when you would work depending upon the position. Okay, let me go back. I think that some of these were repeating about when to apply, so I want to get onto.
Try to go back in my slides here and see.
Can you apply for more than one position that you're interested in?
Yeah, absolutely. You can apply for as many as you want. I do recommend only applying to ones you feel are the most relevant for your experience, just for the likeliness of being able to obtain the position. You want to. You don't really. I feel like if you are an accounting major, you don't want to apply for partnerships if you don't feel like it's relevant. I definitely feel like you should just apply the ones you're relevant for. But yeah, you're welcome to apply as many as you want.
Um, can you apply if you have worked with the Golden One Center or the River Cats before?
Yeah, absolutely. That's actually pretty helpful because sometimes it'll tell us when someone's a prior worker. If you're currently working there, you wouldn't be able to do both, so you would have to pick or do the internship and then go back to that role afterwards.
Can you provide any insight on corporate partnership internship opportunities?
Yes, definitely. So we usually have 2 per session. So um, that is, I know it's definitely during the season, it's more of the activation. So it's a lot of making the sponsors happy. So there's always these contracts and deals that partners have. So like Golden One is obviously our biggest corporate sponsorship. We have Kaiser, we have Quick Quack Car Wash, we have Chick-fil-A. There's tons of like over 50, I think, sponsors. And so a lot of them have certain requirements that need to be fulfilled. So the partnerships would help um, fulfilling those requirements, whether that is having t-shirts branded or things during the games, like taking photos of proof that that the activation was fulfilled. So a lot of things like that. I think it's a pretty fun opportunity to see what that side is like. A lot of partnerships is also sales. The intern wouldn't be doing the sales, but it's a good way to get exposure to what that could look like.
Are these positions paid?
They are, yes, they are paid internships.
Are brag sheets or impact lists accepted or just a resume and cover letter?
What was that again? Sorry.
I have actually heard of this before, so this is new for me. Are brag sheets or impact lists accepted or just a resume and cover letter?
Actually, I haven't heard that before. I don't know what those are.
Well, I'm not alone then. Thank you very much. Okay. Hypothetically, if I was in an internship in a previous session, could I apply again?
Yes, you could. Usually not, we don't usually extend interns, but you're welcome if you want to switch teams. You're welcome to apply to that again as well.
Very interested in the camera crew, maybe starting off running wires or cords. Is there a possible position available for this?
Yeah, I think that'd be more our AV team. So we have the internships, and then we usually also post like AV technicians once in a while as well. And those are more of the ones that will do more of the tech side. I know our control room is another position. Those are usually the ones that are holding the cameras for like any of the audience interactions and things that go up on the big screen as well. So yeah, that'd be more the audiovisual department.
Could you please share a typical path for interns who are interested in continuing after the program ends?
Yeah, definitely. So we don't have like a guaranteed pipeline for hiring interns full time after an internship. Usually a lot of that is just if the timing is right, and if we have positions available at the time. We do hire a lot of interns. We have, I think, hired two or three full time just this year from their internship program because the position just happened to be open when the internship was ending and it was just good timing. We also have a really good track record of interns coming back a year or two later. What's great about the internships is that connection and the networking you get to do. That's what's great about having a fully in-person environment is keeping those connections. So if you did a great job in your role and the position opens up 2 years from now, you have all those connections to come back to and have a likelier chance of getting the full-time role after that.
And this question, I think I know the answer to, but I'm going to let you handle this one. It says, I have a ton of experience already working for multiple positions during basketball season at Golden One Center and working other events as well as doing marketing work and brand ambassador work. And I'm not a student. Can I still apply for an internship?
So the internship is only good for up to a year after you graduate. So right now it would just be like fall of 2024. After that, we have a ton of those part-time positions or full-time positions you can apply to, but the internship is only up to a year after you graduate.
Thank you. And let me scroll down. After applying, do we need to interview to know if we got accepted or not?
Yes, so usually our hiring managers have been pretty good about handling the recruiting process. Sometimes I'll be involved and help out, but usually it's a two-interview process. So they'll interview kind of their top 5 or 6 candidates, and then the final interview is usually top 2 to 3 candidates. So you'll be reached out to if you're chosen to interview for that position, and then go from there.
Wonderful. Since the internship has paid positions, does the pay differ between each position?
That's a good question. So there's only 2 positions that pay more. So it's about like $1.50 more, and that's our business intelligence. So that's our business data analytics position and our legal intern position. So there's only two that have that little bit of a bump. Everything else is the same.
So I have several students who are looking into legal internships. Can you provide a little more information on that?
Yes, so I think they do require you to be enrolled in law school for that one. So that would probably be more of a future requirement. So that's why you're in law school. Usually it'll always say on the job descriptions what the requirements are. It'll say the compensation, it'll say what you need to be enrolled in, or if you need to be in law school or not. But from my experience, you have to be enrolled in law school for that.
Okay. I had another question about deadlines, but I think I'm just going to repost the information you've already provided. And I think that we've answered all of the questions that are currently in here, other than the ones that we're going to go back to who've not, who have asked the same repeated question.
Perfect. And then I can see if I can go back to that link slide. For some reason I can't go back. I don't know if this shows. Let's see. Are you able to see the link slide now?
Thank you.
I shared it in the chat with the host, so we can share that afterwards. If you want to just take a picture of this, you're welcome to. Usually I just search kings.com/careers or Rivercats careers. It's pretty easy to find. And then you can just search my name on LinkedIn and connect with me that way. And yeah, happy to answer any more questions you may have.
Well,
And thank you,
is there
Paula,
more?
too. Thank you, Paula, too, for assisting me with all of the chat.
Oh yeah, no problem.
So it sounds, first of all, thank you, Monica and Paula, for managing all of that. And thank you, students, for your really thoughtful questions. It looks like there still are some more questions that just came in here. Do you see that too, Monica?
Yes, it's some of them have said how much, since it's paid, how much is the pay?
So for the interns right now, it is $16.50. That will probably be bumped up pretty soon. And then for the business intelligence and data, I believe they're $18 an hour.
And I just want to interject here for a second. Before you log off, students, I know we're going to kind of do a summary and provide you with a little bit more information, but I just want to remind you that you are invited to give us some feedback, as well as Alyssa, in our poll that's going to pop up on your screen. So if you could just hang out, I see some people like, oh, great, they're leaving. There's a poll right there. It's 3 questions and it's 3 clicks. So it shouldn't take that much time. And it's just giving us some feedback about our sessions. We really try to tune in into what students are looking for to help launch them into their, or relaunch them sometimes into their intended career path. So it really helps not only us know if we as a program are hitting the mark for students, but also too for Alyssa as well. It's aggregate data, meaning your name will not be connected in any way, and it's just everyone's responses sort of lumped in. And it's really just letting us know about, if you learned a lot, how valuable you found the information, and then how likely you are to apply to the internship in the future. So it helps us know how we're doing. And I appreciate everyone. I can see a lot of you are engaging in that. So thank you, Paula, for launching that. And thank you, students, for taking over half of you have responded. So thank you. And I just want to take a minute to thank Alyssa for coming. I really appreciate you reaching out locally, right, to these students here, because I know many of them, not all of them, but many of them are fans. I know that we get asked quite a lot about this presentation, and the opportunity just to work here in their, backyard, so to speak, I think is really amazing with such an amazing organization. So I really want to thank you for taking the time to connect with our students. And I also just want to elevate your emphasis on LinkedIn. I mean, just your availability to meet with the students, for them to connect with you. You mentioned it quite a few times in your presentation. So I do want to take a minute to invite Paola to talk about the upcoming LinkedIn session that the Career Center at ARC is going to be offering. And I believe that many of the sister colleges as well are going to be offering, or have already offered, LinkedIn sessions. So if you are curious, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Paola to talk about that LinkedIn session.
Hi, everyone. Yes, we do have a LinkedIn session scheduled for September 22nd. It is posted on Handshake, so same way you found this event, you can find it on Handshake and register for that as well. But essentially, it'll just be an overall introduction into LinkedIn, more so for those that are either brand new to LinkedIn, or they have a LinkedIn profile but want to know a little bit more about how to utilize it. to the best capacity, and kind of focusing on your LinkedIn profile and the look of how you should be starting to kind of get yourself out there so that you can start networking and finding the career path or the jobs that you want to be a part of. So very introductory, but yes, September 22nd, like I said, you can find it on Handshake. If you have any questions on registering for it or need help finding it, you can always send us an email, call us, or go ahead and just drop on by and we'll help you out with that.
Thank you, Paula. And as a reminder, I think early on, Renata shared the contact information for, oh, actually, I think that only went out to hosts and panelists. So if someone can go into the chat and copy Renata's share to everyone, the contact information for all 4 sister colleges, their work experience and internship program will show up soon here in the chat. Again, each of the sister colleges has a program who can help you with your application materials. If you want to do a practice interview session as well, they certainly can help you with that as well. So with that, Monica, do you see any more questions? Paolo, do you see that our poll is done? I just want to make sure to type any loose ends.
So we have a couple of comments in the chat that are saying thank you very much for this helpful information, and thank you, Alyssa.
Oh, it's always nice to get love in the chat or love in the Q&A, right? Like it's awesome.
I always appreciate the invite. Love doing it.
Awesome. Okay. Well, we hope to invite you, Sacramento Kings back again in the spring so that you can speak to the summer internship cycle. I know the timelines for when our semester started and when the deadline for the seasonal ones didn't quite line up, but I do want to encourage students, if you would like to tune in again for Alyssa, hopefully can come back and speak to the summer internships well before that April deadline. We'll hope to schedule that as well. And again, as Monica, Paula, and Renata mentioned, all of our sessions, all of our events are posted in Handshake, so please continue to engage with Handshake. You can also follow the Sacramento Kings on Handshake or heart them. Anytime that the organization engages in an event, you'll get an alert. And that's the same with any company organization that you follow in Handshake. If they attend a career fair at any 4 sister colleges or they have another session, if you've sort of in essence followed them, you will be pinged through Handshake to let you know that what that organization is up to. So that's another way to continue to monitor kind of the events and activities that the Sacramento Kings specifically is offering for our students. So with that, I want to say thank you to Alyssa for taking the time to connect with our students, and also to the Los Rios team for all of their support in making this event happen. So thanks again. Bye, everyone. Have a good rest of your day.